The day the Queen knelt before me began like every other day in my small, forgotten corner of the galaxy. I was repairing a rusted atmospheric stabilizer on the edge of docking ring 12 when the alarm started screaming. Most people imagine space stations as sleek and shining. Virax Station was not one of those places. It was old, patched together from salvage and forgotten technology, floating near a dying red star where few ships willingly traveled, which made it perfect for someone like me. My name is Daniel Reyes. I used to be a pilot in the Terran exploration fleet until an accident cost me my career and most of my reputation. After that, I drifted for years until I ended up on Virax Station working as a mechanic. No glory, no fame, just grease, tools, and broken machines. That morning, I was halfway inside the stabilizer shaft when the station-wide broadcast erupted. Attention! Royal convoy approaching. Clear all docking lanes immediately. I rolled my eyes. Great, I muttered, wiping grease from my hands. Just what this place needs. Royal convoys meant inspections, security lockdowns, and nobles who thought mechanics were part of the machinery. Still, curiosity got the better of me. I climbed out of the shaft and walked toward the observation deck overlooking the docking bays. By the time I arrived, half the station had already gathered there. Outside the massive glass panels, 3 enormous ships emerged from hyperspace like gods descending from the void. Their hulls shimmered with silver-blue energy fields. Elegant. Powerful. Alien. That's the Aurelian Empire, someone whispered beside me. They say their queen commands half the spiral arm. Another voice added nervously, and they're not exactly friendly to humans. I had heard the stories. The Aurelians were an ancient species, tall, graceful beings with luminous eyes and skin that reflected starlight like polished metal. Their empire had existed long before humanity discovered faster-than-light travel. And at the center of it all was their ruler, Queen Lysera, the most powerful woman in the known galaxy. The ships glided silently into the docking lanes. A moment later, station security cleared the deck. Everyone back. Royal arrival. But I stayed where I was. Mechanics rarely got chased away if they looked busy enough, so I grabbed a toolkit and leaned casually against a railing. The main docking bay doors opened slowly. Golden light poured out as the royal vessel's ramp extended. Then she appeared. Even from across the bay, Queen Lysera was impossible to ignore. She was tall, nearly 7 feet, with flowing silver hair and eyes that glowed faintly violet. Her armor was elegant rather than heavy, white metal etched with symbols that seemed to shift like living light. Around her stood a dozen royal guards. Each one looked capable of tearing a man apart without effort. But it was the queen who held everyone's attention. She walked down the ramp slowly, surveying the station with calm authority. And then she stopped. Her glowing eyes moved across the crowd. For a moment they passed over me. Then they snapped back. Locked on. I frowned. That's weird, I murmured. The queen took one step forward, then another. Her guards immediately tensed. She was walking directly toward the observation deck. Toward me. People around me began whispering. Why is she coming here? Did someone break protocol? Within seconds, the entire bay had gone silent. The queen reached the base of the deck and looked up. Our eyes met again. Something strange flickered across her face. Recognition. But that was impossible. I had never met an alien queen. Then she spoke. Her voice echoed clearly across the massive docking chamber. Human. Everyone turned to look at me. I pointed at myself. Me? Her gaze softened. Yes. You. My stomach tightened. Station security looked confused but stepped aside as she approached the stairs leading up to the deck. Her guards followed closely, hands resting on glowing weapons. When she reached the top, She stood only a few feet away from me. Up close, she was even more intimidating. But there was something else in her eyes. Something almost emotional. "You," she said quietly. "I know you." I blinked. "I think you've got the wrong guy, Your Majesty." The guards shifted slightly at my casual tone, but the Queen ignored them. Instead, she studied my face carefully. Then her gaze dropped to my right arm, to the faded scar running from my wrist to my elbow. Her expression changed instantly. Shock. Then certainty. "It is you," she whispered. Now I was really confused. "Lady, I swear we've never." Her next words stopped me cold. "You saved my life." My mind went blank. The crowd around us gasped. One of the guards stepped forward. "Your Majesty, perhaps this human is deceiving." She raised a hand. Silence fell immediately. Then she turned back to me. 10 years ago," she said softly. "Outer Rim. Warzone near the Thalrix Nebula." My memory stirred. The Thalrix Nebula. That mission. The explosion. The escape pod. Suddenly pieces began falling into place. 10 years earlier, my exploration ship had responded to a distress signal during a border conflict. We found a destroyed vessel drifting in the nebula. Inside was a single survivor, an alien woman badly wounded and unconscious. We never learned who she was. I smuggled her aboard my ship and got her to safety before pirates attacked us. In the chaos, she was evacuated by another vessel. I never saw her again, and shortly afterward, my career ended. But now the Queen was staring at me like I was a ghost. "You carried me from the wreckage," she said quietly. "You gave me your oxygen mask. You protected me when pirates boarded your ship." The memories hit me like a shockwave. "You were that survivor?" She nodded slowly. "I was not yet queen then. I was the crown princess of the Aurelian Empire." The entire observation deck erupted in shocked whispers. The princess. The future ruler of half the galaxy. And I had rescued her without even knowing. I rubbed the back of my neck awkwardly. "Well, you looked like you needed help." For a moment, she simply stared at me. Then something even more unbelievable happened. The Queen of the Aurelian Empire stepped forward. Anne knelt, right there in the middle of the docking bay. Gasps echoed everywhere. Her guards looked horrified. The station commander nearly fainted. But Queen Lysera lowered her head respectfully. "In my culture," she said clearly, "one who saves the life of royalty becomes family to the throne." She looked up at me. "I have searched the stars for you for 10 years. My heart pounded. "You what?" "You vanished after the incident. Your fleet discharged you. Records were sealed." She stood slowly. But I never forgot. The station had gone completely silent. Then she did something even more unexpected. She smiled. "Daniel Reyes," she said, "I owe you a life debt." My brain struggled to process everything. You really don't owe me anything." Her expression became serious. "I disagree." She turned to her guards. "Bring the case." One of them stepped forward holding a small metallic container. He opened it. Inside was a glowing medallion. Even from several feet away, I could feel energy radiating from it. "This," the Queen said, lifting it carefully, "is the Starbound Sigil. Only 3 exist in the Empire." She placed it in my hand. "Anyone who carries this is under my protection." The crowd stared in stunned silence. "But that is not all," she continued. My stomach dropped. Because something told me she wasn't finished. "You once saved my life with nothing to gain," she said softly. "So today, I will give you something you never expected." She turned toward the station commander. "Prepare a shuttle." Then she faced me again. "Daniel Reyes, come with me." "Where?" Her glowing eyes held mine. "To my world." My jaw dropped. You're inviting a random mechanic to your imperial capital? You are not random.
She paused.
You are the man who saved a princess when no one else would. I laughed nervously. This is insane. Perhaps. Her smile returned, but destiny often is. The crowd watched as she extended her hand. For a long moment I stared at it. Then I sighed. Well, my shift was almost over anyway. Her laughter echoed through the docking bay, soft and genuine. And that was how my quiet life ended. The Aurelian homeworld was nothing like Earth. The entire planet seemed alive with light. Cities floated above vast oceans. Crystal towers stretched into the sky. Ships moved through orbital lanes like glowing constellations. When our shuttle landed at the Imperial Palace, I understood something immediately. I did not belong here. Everywhere I looked were nobles, soldiers, and officials. And then there was me, a mechanic in grease-stained clothes. The Queen seemed to notice my discomfort. Relax, she said. That is easy for you to say. She tilted her head slightly. You faced pirates without fear. Surely a palace is less dangerous. Pirates make more sense. She laughed again. Over the next few days, I learned just how serious the Queen had been about her promise. She gave me a private residence, access to imperial technology, and something even more shocking, a position. You'll serve as my advisor, she told me. I nearly choked on my drink. Advisor? You see the galaxy differently than my people. I fix engines, and yet you saved a princess. Despite my protests, she refused to change her mind. But the real shock came weeks later. During a formal council meeting, an assassin attacked. The blade was aimed straight for the Queen. Instinct took over. I shoved her aside. The blade cut my arm instead. Guards killed the attacker instantly. But as I sat there bleeding, Lysera looked at me with the same expression she had on the station. Realization. You saved me again, she whispered. I shrugged weakly. Seems like a habit. Later that night, she came to my quarters. Without guards. Without ceremony. You risk your life for me without hesitation, she said. Why? I thought about it, then answered honestly. Because you're my friend. Her luminous eyes softened. In Aurelian tradition, she said slowly, a life debt can only be repaid one of two ways. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, by saving the life of the one who saved yours. She stepped closer. Or by giving them a place beside you forever. My heart skipped. Are you saying what I think you're saying? She nodded. Yes. The Queen of the Aurelian Empire looked at a former human mechanic and asked quietly, Stay with me. The galaxy would never believe it. But somehow, it felt right. Ending. Years later, historians would argue about the moment that changed relations between humanity and the Aurelian Empire forever. Some said it was the treaty that followed. Others said it was the day humans were welcomed into Aurelian space as equals. But those who knew the truth understood it began much earlier. It began in a forgotten docking bay, when the most powerful queen in the galaxy knelt before the mechanic who once saved her life, and chose him not as a servant, not as a subject, but as someone worthy to stand beside her among the stars.